I think patience is the biggest thing. Things take a lot longer than you think they will. I mean, people think that like the last video I made, they're like, bro, you blew up off that and now you have a career. I was like, bro, I've been making shitty videos since the Vine days.
What's up, guys? Do not have a name to the podcast yet, but we are super excited to have Trevor Wallace here today.
Hey guys, how's it going?
Trevor, what's up, my man?
Dude, you should call like Nameless or something cool. It sounds like a nightclub. Nameless.
Nameless.
The Nameless podcast? That's probably already out there.
I cannot tell you, a couple days ago, I saw on your Instagram story that lineup, Tom Green,
Bro.
Nick Swartzen, and your name.
Yeah.
That shit got me fucking excited for you, man. I'm not
That
gonna
was
lie.
wild. I was like, that's above. I was swimming with sharks way bigger than me. But dude, it was a great time. And I went up after Tom Green. So like Tom Green like had the crowd like going. They're hot. It's like you just handed off an amazing audience. So it was fire and it was great. It was so much fun.
For context, for everybody listening, Jeff, did you? What was the story? Did you DM Trevor?
I don't know, Trevor. Did you DM me first, or
I think I
DM'd
saw
you?
you followed me maybe like 2 years ago. And then I DM'd you, I think. And then you're like, oh yeah, I like the Zoomy stuff. And then it turned out that where I was working at the time was right down the street from your guys' office.
Yeah.
So we met up, and then I don't even know if we did anything that day. Or
No,
you
I
gave
think
me some
we just.
art.
I think we just wanted to meet and talk about just what we can do together potentially.
We have footage that we need to pop up. I remember when we met at Panini Cafe like 18 months ago.
Oh yeah.
And we were like, how the fuck haven't you blown up yet? And you're like, I don't know, fam. I don't know. If you know why, help me out.
Yeah,
man,
pull that up because
patience,
actually
yeah.
we have all that on camera. I think we have the first time you coming on camera too.
do.
Really?
We
Yeah,
love
we
it.
have all
Damn.
That's epic footage. We're going to pop that shit up. But yeah, before we get into the now, I always like to talk about kind of growing up and how you got to where you are today. I think you have a super interesting story, meteoric rise. We've watched it in front of our eyes. So why don't you tell us a little bit about where you grew up and what your childhood was like?
Grew up in Southern California for the most part, like Ventura County area. It's like an hour. Like my rock bottom, my parents' house, like an hour away. So like, I'm good, dude. I mean, my rock bottom, I just go back home, sleep in my childhood bed, you know? So I feel like everybody in LA has like a cool story. They're like, I moved here from, Chugwater, Wyoming. There was 48 people in the city and I was a star. And you're like, what are you talking about, bro? You work at Burger King. Yeah, but I'm out here now. So everybody's got some crazy story. My story was like, the first time I ever did stand-up, I was 17 and I just tried it out. There was like a comedy club near my hometown, and they had like a class. We took some classes, then at the end you got to perform, and then I did like 5 minutes, and I like blacked out on stage. But it was like an adrenaline I never had because I was never good at sports. So like to get people like applauding what I was doing, I was like, oh shit, maybe I'm decent at something.
Funny parents?
No, I mean quirky, not the typical white funny. Like they're not hilarious, but they just make like quick little jokes here and there.
But what like led to that? What made you say like I think I'd be good at this?
Stand up. My mom actually recommended it to me. She like saw in the paper they're advertising for the stand up class. She's like, Trevor, you should do this. And I was like, I don't need that. And then I was like thinking about it. I was like, all right, let me give it a shot. That could be cool. And then I did it and I was like, oh, damn, this is kind of cool. And I think it just kind of came to me naturally, even just like the writing, because like they would do like exercise in the class.
Yeah.
Like here's a newspaper article, write a joke on it. And then I wrote like a few, and the guy was like, have you done this before? I was like, nah. And then I just always like that. So, and then I went off to college. I was just in a frat where I just literally did nothing but soak my body in alcohol for like 2 years. And then after I got over that, I was like, a Vine came out.
Yeah.
And then I was doing some Vine stuff. I had a few things get big, but I never got like crazy numbers on there. But that showed me that videos can go viral, right? Like how the process works. You see it and then people look at your page so I got that. And then I was doing stand up in college. And before I graduated, I was like, all right, I need to make this a thing. So I was like, all right, I'm only going to party on the weekends in college if I do at least like one open mic and make one video. And which is, you got to hold yourself accountable for something. And then I was doing that. And then I moved straight to LA right after. I was at home for like 2 weeks and then just straight to LA. Lived in a pool house. Yeah. So, but not like a nice pool house. It was like a shack in Studio City.
Nice.
Anywhere in Studio City, to be honest, is still a shack. So it was Studio City. It was just a room, and I was an intern for 2 different companies, and I had enough money saved in college for like 6 months, and then I got picked on full time at the company while I was still making videos once a week.
Which
And
company
doing
was that,
stand-up.
if you want me to
It
ask?
was All Def Digital. So
for marketing, right?
yeah, so I started as just like a PA, just a normal production assistant, and then the social media guy needed an intern. Then I was a social media intern, and then I did I was like part time, and then I was full time, and then I was like full, benefits and everything. And at that point, I was making my own videos. I was in a lot of their videos on YouTube. There's so many that I'm in on their channel, which the channel is no longer a thing. RIP All Deaf Digital. But some great people came out. Some of the funniest comedians I know came out of that. So it was just always like I always had my plan on the side, but also get my money right on the other side. And because I knew eventually I was going to want to quit the job and do comedy full time. And about a year and some change ago was when I quit there.
When we met you were still working there.
I was still working there. Yeah, I met you guys on my quote unquote lunch break. I was like, I'm gonna go get a coffee for an hour and a half, and then came back to the office with 2 giant art pieces and was like, oh, it's Starbucks free giveaway day, So, and then that was a year or so ago. And I mean, the last year is just kind of just like all the preparation led to the right jump off point, I think. Mm-hmm. And I mean, I've had some good videos in the past year and started touring a lot and just keeping the stand up strong.
So how old are you right now?
26.
26.
Yeah.
I feel like it's early for a comedian.
Yeah. I mean, comedians are like, that's why there's not a lot of girls that are like, comedians are so hot. There's not too many, because comedians get their best when they're in like 40s and they're like already married, or they're like balding, and you're like, this dude, do you think he's hot? Yeah. Like, I don't know any girl that made Bill Burr their fucking man crush Monday, but he's everybody's favorite comedian. It's like the best comedians take so long to build, and they're just honing their craft the whole time. Then they pop off, and when they pop off, they're just hilarious already. Mm-hmm. So to get some notoriety and people like looking at me now at 26, I'm like, fuck, I gotta provide. I can't be like, I gotta break early. Let me ride this for a few waves.
Well, I think it's cool because like you can relate to almost like the Instagram demographic.
Yeah.
So it was very different. Like,
well, yeah. So it's kind of like I'm just hitting my audience. Like I've noticed that my material over the past year or so, since I've had more of a following, is very geared to the people that follow me. So it's like a millennial type audience, which is cool because then hopefully they grow. I mean, the most important thing is when your audience grows, you also grow. Because if this crowd now sees me, I'm talking about like the post college millennial type life, and then I'm still talking about that in 10 years, they're gonna be like, fam, we got kids. Like what? So it's kind of growing up with the audience and maturing with them. But I think right now it's like especially I've been doing a lot of college shows, and it's great because they get everything I say. Versus if I do a random club, half is my audience, half is some random people. They're like, man, I don't know who the fuck T-Pain is. What are you saying? So when I'm doing my crowds, it's amazing. So
let's get that sponsor pitch on right now. So who is your demo? Tell us who it is. Is it guys? Is it girls? I would think guys, young 20s.
Yeah, very heavy. It's like guys either in college or just out of college. It's kind of like, I'd say like 18 to 28 is like that prime kind of, that range. I think it's like 65 girls. No, 65 dudes, 35 girls, percentage-wise.
Do you know what I think is really impressive about yours is I'm a little outside your age range, but it makes me tap into my inner fuckery, and it makes me think about me being a degenerate in college, and I just think about all that shit. So it hits the nostalgia chord as well.
Oh yeah, I'm 26. Like I'm not even in college, but it's just like when I do these videos, it's like, oh, how did you think of that? I was like, oh, I'm just reminiscing on what I used to do. Like I'm just literally just pulling up thoughts from back when I was in college. So it's the same stuff. But
so I guess we can all agree that you blew up on Instagram. That's kind of where it all happened, social media, and that's how I think comedians are hitting earlier. Because now we're in that, obviously that Instagram age.
Well, also Facebook, right?
Facebook was the biggest at first, but like nobody would really come out to, well, some people be like, I've seen your Facebook videos, but Instagram is like the hub. Instagram is where everybody's at, So that's like kind of what everybody wants to be big on, because like that's where everybody my age is just permanently on. So Instagram or Facebook got real big first, and then YouTube got some traction, and then Instagram, I had like 4 back-to-back videos just hit, and then they saw the previous catalog of stuff, and then a lot of people just stayed. So Instagram was the slowest to build, but now it's my like second biggest, I think.
What's your take on TikTok? Since we're talking about all these channels right now.
Yeah, dude, I'm a fan of it. I think it's weird because it's skewed so young.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are discouraged, but bro, I've like every major company's on there. Like Saturday Night Live has a channel, Nickelodeon has a channel. Like Will Smith, any platform Will Smith is making content on, like you can make content on. Like you're not above Will Smith. You know, like I don't know how old he is, but he's on there.
Do you think it's gonna age up, or you think it's gonna?
It'll definitely age up because what I'm seeing is all the old Viners hop on there, and you're like people you forgot about. And you're like, oh shit, dude didn't do anything since then. But dude, the thing is, it's so easy to grow on there as a comedian, but I don't know what the benefit is. Like, are those people that are gonna buy your merch? Are they gonna come out to your shows? Like. Or
it's still premature right now. Like
exactly,
it's hoping they age up.
Yeah, I mean, what I've been doing is I've just been posting the same stuff I post on Instagram and YouTube.
That's what I was gonna ask. So you're not repurposing it?
I am.
It's the same exact footage you're putting on.
Same exact or old stuff that I put out on my Instagram like a year ago.
Yeah.
And I mean, dude, like I got 1 million on there in like 4 months. And I'm like, what?
Jesus.
Like, dude, it's very user friendly because you open it. And when you open the app, it's just on like the For You page. So everybody has like a shot. And then if your shit gets on there, there's a follow button right there. Versus Instagram, you got to click, you got to go to the profile, then follow. Yeah. Like they made it very, like it's right where the thumb is. You can just scroll, hit, follow. So I don't know how much retention they are, if they're following because they liked one video. I don't know how interactive it is. I know they have a live feature that you can talk to people, but I think if you're already making content, why not, trim something for that platform? Take the extra step. And
yeah, I was gonna say because there's a lot of funny stuff you put on your stories on Instagram, and it's probably really easy to just repurpose. And on TikTok.
Exactly, and it's kind of weird. I don't know how the algorithm on there works, but from what I've heard is like when you post a video, it goes on a select amount of people's feed, regardless if you follow them or not. And then if a bunch of people at once like it, then it kind of gets upvoted, kind of like Reddit style. So everybody has a chance to do numbers on there. And if you put out quality content, I think something will hit eventually and you can grow really quick on there.
All right. So we're going to get into the now and all the good times, but the one thing that we always like to share with our audience is the bad times, the shitty times. We're actually going to have every guest tell us the shittiest moment they're ever in their whole entire life. Jara was telling us about jail. For me, it was $30,000 for us in credit card debt. What about you? Yeah. Why don't you tell her? Because everybody that's watching right now probably sees the Trevor Wallace with 1 million followers. Yeah. And they don't know about the time where you were doing something.
Yeah, probably recently, due to legal issues, I had to refund 7,000 t-shirts. And I mean, the profit on those was like $22 a piece. You do the math.
Yeah.
It's a quick 100K. So that was in a day too. And I had the span of it was a week campaign. And that was in the first day. It sold 7,000 t-shirts. So I was thinking I was going to have views like this shit. I was Googling BMWs and shit. Yeah, I postmated a $45 Uber Eats meal. One meal, $45. I got a ginger lemonade tea. I don't even like ginger like that, but I was just feeling myself. And then the next day I got hit with a cease and desist. And they were pretty much like, you can try to fight this in court, but we'll just drown you out in legal fees. Like, we have this team, you have that team. And I do have a team around me of great people, but they're like logistically, like, we've been in this scenario before. Mm-hmm. It's not worth being in and out of court.
But was that financial stuff on you or do you have like a merch company?
So I have a merch company. It was a third party one. So essentially I didn't lose any money out of my pocket because it was print on demand. So there's like 1 day left in the campaign. And
wow, you got lucky. That's the biggest part of this whole entire thing. I thought you bought into inventory.
No. Yeah. So I didn't have inventory. So it was like
so that was money you lost but didn't have yet.
Yeah,
that makes it a little better.
Right, but it was in front of my eyes. I was like somebody jiggling like a Ferrari key in front of me.
You're gonna hit on the next one.
Like, yo, this is you. And then I'm like, all right, that's me. I'm DMing girls like, yo, I got a Ferrari. Next day, they're like, where's the Ferrari? I was like, well, it got repoed.
There's no way that was your lowest point, bro. Come on.
That's pretty low. You ever lost 100K in a day? That shit, that'll hurt. Well, the lowest point is probably living in a pool house, just doing open mics every night and putting out videos that I thought were funny to my like 800 followers on Instagram, being like, this is going to hit one day.
Yeah. We knew it, man. I mean,
yeah. But even like early on, like I think the three people that can relate is rappers, strippers, and comedians. Because when you start a career, people are like, bro, what are you doing? Like, as a rapper, you put out a song, people are like, oh, he's rapping now. As a stripper or an Instagram model, you got to just one day post a picture of you holding like 2 watermelons of your tits. And people are like, what?
Yeah.
You're getting into that career?
Interesting analogy.
So, I mean, because you're like pretty much just showing the world, like, this is me, this is what I'm putting out there, I'm going to do this. And then people are like, yeah, okay. Because nobody really believes in you at first.
Looking back, was it funny? Now you're looking back at it?
I think at the time, yeah. Or I mean, it was so like dated, whereas like I had a camera on a tripod and then I hit record and then run out front, say a line, then run back and watch it. Like I didn't have like camera or a guy doing sound or anything. It was so like one man shop, just like.
Yeah. You know, it's funny because like when I first saw you, it was just the content was so relatable. Like I literally sent it to everyone in my frat. Like you kind of could like stick yourself into a lot of different friend groups. I feel like your character.
Yeah, dude. I'm very. A lot of people send me like screenshots of their group chat. They'll be like,
"Oh, this is that person in your friend group."
Exactly.
So yeah.
And I mean, I'm just making characters based on the characters I've seen or interacted with in my own life. And like, I mean, that's comedy is truth and relatability. That's all it is at the end of the day. So if you can relate to somebody without being like, math teachers be like, and you're like, bro, what is this bullshit? You know? So I try to stay away from like that shit that's like too cringy, but more like the specifics. Like I know that guy, like what you were just saying, the more relatable, like, yo, this is Derek. He does this.
Yeah.
shit.
I mean, in marketing, that's like, obviously that's what we try and do is obviously make our content as most relatable to our, consumers as possible. So what is your favorite character that you do?
The one I really recently like, it's actually the entrepreneur one. I don't know if you guys saw that one.
I was going to mention that one, yeah.
Yeah, the entrepreneur one was
Jeff
fun.
thinks you were calling me out on some of that, were you?
Oh, yeah. His name was Mark.
Jeff,
right?
His name was Mark.
Was it?
And I do intermittent fasting, and I have motivational words tattooed on my body. Look at that.
I was like,
I do.
I was like, Mark.
Hey, no.
I'm like, Mark, Trevor dropped a video on you this morning. It's actually hilarious.
Dude. There's
no shame. Clearly, do not give a shit. Making fun of myself. Yeah.
I just know so many people like that because there's a huge group of people from my hometown that all do like the pyramid scheme type stuff.
Oh god.
And they're like the people
Keep
that
me
have
out
like.
there.
That's what I'm saying. You're successful. That's why that character wasn't about you because that character wasn't successful, but you clearly fucking doing all right. So yeah, I mean, I just had so many people that would like. I remember this one company. I worked for this energy drink company, and like one of the incentives was like, you got a leased out like BMW or Mercedes, and they were just like so gassed on it, like, bro, we could get you a BMW. One of their lines, no bullshit, one of their lines to like help incentivize you was, wouldn't you like to take your parents out to eat for once? I was like, bro, that's like $40. Like, that's like
high ambition.
Yeah,
right there.
bro, I could work at a restaurant and do that shit. I could drive Uber and take my parents out to Red Lobster. You know, like it's not. So
tell us about that process though. I'm curious. So like the entrepreneur, is that just things you're seeing and consuming? Like what's their actual process that goes into that?
Something will like kind of like spark my mind, and then I'll write it in my like notes app, and then I'll kind of either write stuff on the spot or I'll get back to it later. I'm like, oh, it's a funny bit. I should do that. Or I'll decide like, all right, I want to make this video. I'll kind of just sit down and think of all these stereotypes or I mean, even like this one video I did that was like the hometown bro. That was like based on a guy from my hometown. So I just scrolled through his Facebook.
We know guys from that town. It's funny.
Always Simi Valley?
Yes. Oh, no. It's Camarillo.
Simi Valley. That's interesting.
Yeah, but like I just like look down. They're like, I just looked like in terms of relatability, I look at the people's profiles I'm thinking of, and I see the type of shit they post. And I was like, okay. And then you're like, that's a broad enough reference that everybody would get it.
And how much of it is improv? How much is it, scripted?
Like 50-50. I'll write out a script of some shit to say, and then while I'm filming, I'll get a bunch of the other kind of inspiration.
Yeah. I'll tell you, the hardest thing was actually writing for you when we did those Dennis Gallagher stuff. That was
as
tough.
long as I have a base to start, because then I can just take that. I'll say it how you guys want, and then I'll like throw my own spin on it. And sometimes it works. Sometimes it's like, the fuck did you just say? But sometimes like that's where when you're just in the character and you're acting like the character and you say something, it flows like that. And it seems like the most organic. Because for me, it's hard to sit down and write and be like, be funny. Yeah. It's like, I'd rather be in the zone of it. So I do like half and half. But
so that's your favorite character. What about the one that really made you a hit? I mean, I think it's the Zoomies one, but you tell me.
The Zoomies one put me on the map for sure. Which is weird because now that's like I saw people like on Twitter, some guys like, you're not an OG Trevor Wallace fan if you don't know the Zoomies stuff, which makes sense.
Yeah.
So it's almost like I have timestamps of like when people started like listening or watching. Because if somebody comes to the show and they're like, bro, your AirPod video was great, I'm like, okay.
You came in the middle.
You came in the middle. Yeah. It went like Zoomies, AirPod, and then this past summer I had like 3 that hit. So Yeah. So, but the Zoomies one definitely gave me a little bit of an audience. That got me to like 100K on Facebook. Based on those videos alone, I was able to start doing some shows and have people coming out to them.
Was that when internally in your mind you're like, okay, I can do this?
Yeah. Yeah, because I was still working the day job and I was getting offers. I was getting little brand deals, hitting me up here and there. And I was like, okay, this is how it works. Now ride that train, but also try some other stuff. Yeah. Because you don't want to be like a one-trick pony type thing.
Do you remember the moment where you just saw those likes going up or those views going up? Tell us about that moment.
The first Zoomies video, the Zoomies video was the first one that actually did like numbers for me.
And that was Facebook.
Yeah, yep. Facebook. And YouTube, but mainly Facebook. I remember I posted it at night. And
where though? Because Facebook is, I don't know if you guys, like the organic reach on Facebook is trash. So like
it's not great. Yeah.
How did that happen?
I don't know how. I think it was just a snowball effect. Luckily somehow, because I don't even know if somebody big shared it or what, but so I posted at night. I remember Monday at 7 p.m. because for the next year I posted every video on Monday at 7 p.m. because I was like, it worked for that, it'll work for this. I posted at night and then I woke up the next morning. I was like, yo, what the fuck? And I had like 1 million views. And then I was
in
like,
one day?
Yeah, overnight. And
what the fuck?
I was tripping. Yeah.
That is viral people right there.
Yeah. So now I'm like, okay, I got something. And then this was when I saw all the digital, and one of the other comedians there, Kev on stage, who's also a very funny guy, was like, all right, what's the follow-up? And I'm like, okay, cool. And then that was like, I posted it Monday. By Tuesday, I had done 1 million. And then on Saturday, I went out and filmed the next one. And that's the one that did like 17 million.
And when did Zoomies start or reach out to you the first time?
They commented on the first one. And that's when I was like, all right. Because if you put out a video about somebody's company, you're either going to like it or hate it. So once I saw they commented it, I was like,
what was the comment? What was the emoji?
Because I think my caption was like, hire me. And then I tagged them. I was like, hire me, Zoomies. And I think they're like, we got you. Or something like that. Like, hit us up.
What about Paxson?
Yeah, Paxson. So Paxson never was in contact with me. But they were like the running joke. They were like the running joke of it. But in a sense, it's
was
like...
it Chad?
Yeah. It was Chad. That was a character. But in a sense, it's almost like they probably just don't say anything, but they also get publicity out of it. So they're like, just ignore it. Take whatever free clout we get thrown at us. So
let's talk about that value exchange, because we were just talking off camera. We don't have to say any names, but I think we're on the same page with this one. You endorsing a brand for free, and if it's with the brand's DNA, if you were that brand, you would just let it ride forever, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's literally... your work is cut out for you. The internet already decided who they want as a mascot. If the internet's like, we want a turtle as the mascot, and the company's like, well, we were thinking a deer. Everybody's like, no, we want clearly the results are here. So, and that's worked. I've done that a few times where I made a video and then that company reached out. Zoomies, for example, I did the video. They flew me to their headquarters and I made a video there. That was dope. I made a video with Hydro Flask. Just like the people who use those, and they reached out to me. That led to a brand deal. So a lot of companies have been smart about it. Some are just, more than others. But if you're a smart company in a digital era where that's where your views need to be and advertising is online, you're going to be like, okay, well, let's see how we can work with this kid.
Definitely trying to share, like from a business context, value for everybody out there. Are any of these brands paying you, but it looks like they're not paying you? Like, are they very strategic in, don't tag us or tag us, but you know what I'm saying? Something like that. Like, has that come across your table yet?
Yeah. And I mean, every brand deal is kind of different. So like what Zoomies did, which was really smart on their behalf, they're like, we just want to have you make an appearance fee. So they're like, because they knew if I went out there, I would make a video. I'm at the headquarters. I'm not going to not. So,
and there's stories on the post.
Exactly. So they're getting exposure that way, but they're like, hey, we'll pay you to come out here and we'll give you a booking fee. And I was like, okay. And then I did one with Brewmate. They do the
over the beer can.
Yeah, exactly.
I saw that.
It's like the steel ones, but they're like, make it as Trevor Wallace as possible. Like, we don't need super branded stuff. That one had like it said hashtag ad at the end, just for legal stuff. But that one was like very like, just do you. And then you send them a script beforehand, like, these are what I'm gonna say, and they're like, yeah, that's great. It's like, it's always, it's funny. Monster did the same thing. We're like, come and film at our headquarters. That was just like a flat rate type thing. But if they're smart, like Monster, they were the butt end of the joke of the whole Kyle series. But they were like, yo, the CEO is so old. like you don't get it, but look, us younger kids in marketing, just let us handle it. This is good for us. Here, let's have them come in.
So for a brand speaking to a creative like you, is the perfect scenario, this is what we need, but just you do you?
Yeah. And I mean, a lot of times they say you do you, and then you give them the product and they're like, well, and you're like, oh, so it's not me do me. It's I do what I think is me, and then you guys critique that. But it's so weird how like this is like my profession. Like one of the notes I did for Monster, I mean, it has such vulgar stuff in it, just yelling. And some guy's like, hey, could you, this is like a 45-year-old like CFO. He's like, could you take out the scene of you pissing Monster? Like that was a real email I got. And I was like, what? It's like, how is this like even normal? But yeah, it's kind of crazy just to be, but I mean, it's kind of led to some now. And I get hit up so much by smaller brands that are like trying to pop off, and they're like, make a video about us. And I was like, yeah, but that, you know, virality and relatability only works if people know what the product is. I can't be like, don't you hate these CBD metal straws? And people are like, what? Like it has to be a trend. People, it has to be known. You know, that's why when like the AirPod thing came out, people were like, oh yes, this is a trending thing. We can.
Will you be making a new one for the AirPod
Yeah, I was just talking to the guy about it today. So somebody hit me up that does all these like reviews, and I think they come out on Wednesday, but he's like, dude, you can use them on Friday if you want. So that's a fun character to do too. Just anything where I get to just play like just a douchebag. You know, it's great. Entrepreneur, the AirPod guy, the flexing. It's just fun. It's just a fun character to do. So I think I am going to do a follow up, and I think it's on brand, and I don't think I dried it out too much when the first time I did it, which was a year ago. It was last December. So
damn, I felt like recent.
Yeah,
that was a year ago, dude. For context, that video did really well for me too, because Worldstar posted it, and I think I had like 65K at the time. In last December, it's not even a year ago.
Me and you had both. I mean, I don't know if you remember, but when I did the AirPods, when I started doing the sneaker pods, we actually had someone started making them and scamming, you know, millions of dollars off people. And Worldstar is one of the accounts that actually posted and kind of fucked me.
Fed the fuel.
Yeah, fed the fuel. Yeah. So we both have AirPod.
Yeah, it worked out for him. Worked out for Trevor. All good.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully it worked out. Yeah, it's. The internet's a weird place because it's just grab and go. It's just, you know, I feel like nobody feels like their properties like has rights to it. Like, oh, I'll just take this. I'll do that. I mean, so much of your stuff probably gets ripped, or your guys' art, whether it's.
That's an understatement.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's disgusting. So
people just don't respect the internet. They're just like, yeah, if it's up there, it's mine now. You're like, what? No, it's a trademark.
Brand deals. If you had to pick one company to work with.
One dream company.
Dream company. Let them know.
I would have to say,
we're going to target all their employees, head of human resources, head of marketing, CFO, all of it.
That's interesting. It would have to be, I've done some really cool ones so far, but I'm trying to think. Maybe like a really cool like whiskey or something, or like a tequila, or like some where like, you know, because Diddy owns Ciroc, like something where I collab and it's me and Diddy in the video, but it's for Ciroc, something like that, where it's like a 3-part thing where it's like, not only am I doing a brand deal, but I get to meet whoever's behind it. So like if I made
that's going to happen. That's definitely going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, if I did something with like Dan Bilzerian and then his what's it, Ignite, you know, something like that, but like he's in the video too. I think that'd be really neat. So
I like that.
That'd be cool.
Yeah. I think something that goes unnoticed, people don't even know, and I didn't even know until I met you. I was very surprised. When I think of you, I think of consistency, because you've been doing, I mean, when you weren't big in the beginning, we saw the rise and you consistently were posting. But the other thing is you're super resourceful. I mean, in the beginning, like you were doing most of the shit.
Yeah.
So why don't you tell us about the beginning process where you might have not had a lot of money, and like who was doing this? Was it just you?
Yeah. I mean, I still to this day edit all my videos.
You were editing all the videos?
Yeah. Dude, it's tedious, but I mean, I know what I want on my channel and like how it to look. And I think editing is, you know, probably 30% of the jokes. And I just, for example, I posted a video last week that a friend of mine edited because it's like a collab type thing, and it didn't do as well. And the second I posted, I was like, it's not going to do as well, because I saw how he edited it in the beginning, and I was like, no, for my videos, it's like, it needs to start on my face, quick, like, and it was just, I knew right away before when I was going to post it, like, it's not cut like how I would cut it. Therefore, or I mean, I'd have somebody edit it if they truly knew my style. Like the guy that films for me a lot, I think he would know what I'm doing and he know what I would want. But I feel like I'd end up giving so many notes that I'd be like, let me just fucking do it. So
you're having now a third party sometimes film it, but you're doing the post?
Yeah. So, but the guy who films with me films with another YouTuber that I collab with like a lot. So he's all, and the camera guy also does comedy. So he kind of gets the gist. Like he helps out a lot too. So it's somebody I like trust behind the camera. They're good. I don't have to look back at each take and be like, yo, did you get that? Did you get that? So I like that aspect. If I can trust somebody, that just makes my job so much easier. And I mean, you guys have been with some of the same camera guys for a while
so it's still a team of one or two.
Exactly. I write it. I'll pitch it to people. I'll cast the friends, and then I'll shoot it, and then I'll go back and I'll edit it. And I mean, it's tedious as hell editing the stuff, but
you don't need a red camera. You don't need, DPs, all this gaffers,
I mean,
none of that.
Yeah, for a certain level, I think you can get all that stuff. But like, I mean, I think what's interesting about TikTok is like TikTok and Vine both showed that you can have very minimal production, if any, and still get the same amount of laughter. So I like to be in the middle where it's like, it's not complete shit. The audio's fine. It looks good enough to where somebody would want to share.
Yeah. I can see actually doing a TikTok commercial because I know they actually just started doing commercials.
Oh, really?
Yeah. On
they reached out
prime time.
I should probably hit them back up.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
what about collaboration? That's something that towards the beginning I didn't see much, and now I see you collaborating a lot with that one comedian, and then obviously the guy behind the camera. What is that? How has that changed your career?
It's dope because it's just now I have people that come up to me and be like, oh, I saw you on this channel. I saw you on that channel. And what's good when you already have a library of content, when you're an individual creator on your own and then you collab with somebody, you're just taking their audience and being like, hey, this is what I'm capable. You're auditioning for the audience when you're in their videos, essentially. So then they click your page and they go, oh shit, he does this. Oh, they have videos together too. So it's, I mean, you're essentially just auditioning for a new audience, and
that's a good way to put
if they like you, they love you, you'll find out. But collabs either feel super organic or they feel forced, and I've done some that I was just like, I don't need to be doing this. But the dude I film with a lot, Chad, his name is Churdley's online.
He's so funny.
We just flow really well together. So it's super organic. All of our fans like kind of love us together. So that's why our collabs are like, I was like, cool, that's a good collab. Like, I'll always shoot with him versus some people, it doesn't work out.
So, like, this group, this, like, comedian group you're in, like, do you guys, is your, like, end goal wanting to, like, be on SNL? Or is that, like, an almost an outdated kind of dream goal for, like, comedians to have, is to be, like, on a SNL or get in these movies?
I think a lot of people still have it as a dream goal, but I don't think it does as much power as it used to. You know, if you used to be on SNL and then you did some seasons afterwards, your career is cut out for you. But like I know, I think 2 people that were on SNL did a season, and then whatever happened, and now you're just seeing around town doing the same shows. It's like it still has a lot of power, but like if they would tag their Instagrams at the end of the episode or something like that, which is such a millennial thing to say, but like Chris Redd is a guy on there I've met a few times. He's been on 2 or 3 seasons, I think, but like he has like 30K on Instagram for one of the biggest comedy sketches in the world. You'd think he'd have like a mil. So it's just a generation gap of like, am I going to watch TV, be like, oh, who is that guy? That guy's funny. Let me find their Instagram versus this is direct to consumer. If I'm funny on Instagram, I'm right here. It's boom, boom, follow him. So
I'd bet on you with $1 million than whoever that guy is with 30,000 long term. I would personally, because you own your consumer. He doesn't own his consumer.
Right. So once you're off the air, that's why building your own brand. And it's weird because somebody like me, like if SNL came knocking at the door, that's like a legit thing you got to consider. It's like, do I kick all my videos to the side and say this is the dream, this is what I want to do, or do I be like, well, I'm kind of working on building my own audience here.
They got to cut that check.
Yeah, because I mean, it depends. It's really what it comes down to, because you're essentially ditching your audience to be like, I'm going to go do SNL now. And then they just watch you post stories every once in a while, and you're not putting out videos on your channel. So
longer you wait, the bigger the check. There you go.
There it is. But I feel that, man. Yeah, I mean, it's but essentially pitching a show with the guys that I write and shoot with a lot is kind of like the dream. But, you know.
So that is the goal, to eventually have your own show.
Yeah.
With these guys.
Yeah.
Interesting. You ever think about collabing with the guy Jimmy? I feel like you guys would be funny together.
Jimmy
Tantro, I think.
Tantro at Jimmy. He did the Simi Valley, the bros from Simi
yeah,
Valley.
very familiar.
And
with
he
him.
was in like what was that shit called? Blue State Mountain. He's like a really good douchebag character.
Yeah. He did a really good transition from YouTube to like the real world of
shit,
entertainment. So kind of like I want to do something where like that, where I'm like taken seriously on the entertainment side, where like
a hybrid.
Yeah, exactly. We can book this guy in a movie, and he's not gonna be like, wait, don't look at the camera type shit. So he did a really good job on that. I know a lot of his friends, but we've never met. I had an audition for that show, but I was out of town. I was kind of mad. Yeah, that was like a last second thing. Like, hey, we want you to read for the show. I was like, what is it? Like, Real Bros of Simi Valley. I was like, and I was in like
that would have been good.
It would have been great. I was in North Carolina at the time, like a shitty ass hotel. I was like, God damn it. So that shit. But you know,
we have a Simi Valley All-Star coming on in a couple weeks.
Oh yeah, who you got?
Yeah. He's the owner of this hack company. His name's Brian McDonald. He's from there. We know Simi Valley very well.
Yeah.
Because we were with this company for 3-4 years, and I even went to his bachelor party. It was all guys from there. That show.
Yeah.
It's real.
Oh yeah, I mean
it's very real.
It's like a mockumentary. It's a mockumentary, but is it a mock? You know, it's like it's too real.
Great dudes though.
Yeah.
I don't want to go too deep down there, but so from a comedian standpoint, who do you think's the best?
Stand up or video or movie?
You tell me. Who do you look up to? Who do you think's the GOAT?
I really like some good character acting, and it's a slept on choice, but I think Ben Stiller. He's got some heaters in there, from Dodgeball to his quick cameos in like Happy Gilmore, where he's like, have you ever seen Happy Gilmore?
Have we seen Happy Gilmore?
Yeah. Like that man nurse.
I will put
like,
you to sleep.
That's like my ideal character. It was like you get booked in a movie, you shoot for like 3 days, and you go in and you just rock it.
Yeah.
You're the star, but you're a guest star, you know? And then like I think he's just got some great fucking amazing characters. I mean,
that's an interesting way to look at it. Yeah. I think the diversity, and he definitely goes deep.
Yeah, no, he's great. Zoolander's so funny. Like he's got some bangers, and I think everybody's like, you know, Adam Sandler. I think Adam Sandler was like one of the first guys I ever looked up to. So yeah, definitely. But there's also some of the guys that are like, they got some bangers that you just totally forget about. Like even on the show that I did the other night was like Nick Swartzen was on there, and I talked to him for a little bit.
I think he's hysterical.
I think he's the most underrated.
Like, bro,
yeah.
he's like one of my favorite just comedians and actors in general. You know, he's so funny. Yeah. Like his character on Reno 911 is like,
oh yeah, Terry.
Yeah, like bro,
Blades of Glory.
Dude, he's iconic,
wow.
and he was
Blades of Glory. He was really funny.
And then you're just suddenly in a green room next to him, and you're just like. And he said to me, he was like, oh, yeah, somebody showed me your videos. Like, yeah, dude, you're talented. I was like, what, bro? Like, what?
Let's work, bro.
Yeah. That's crazy. And it was so funny because I went to, so like after that show, like he followed me. I went to follow him back. And then I went to like message him. Just like, yeah, man, it was great meeting you. And then I saw a DM that I sent him like 3 years ago. Like,
delete.
Yeah, oh, 100%. And I was like, please don't be seen. It was like a paragraph. And it was like, he didn't see it. I was like, I mean, there's nothing. And then I was like,
that happens.
Oh yeah, bro. I mean, that's like a real thing.
I think it was you actually asked me to do his merch. I think it was you, someone to do his merch years and years ago. This was like 4 or 5 years ago. But yeah,
I'm glad it wasn't like seen because it was me. Just be like, I think.
What was that one video game movie he was into? That was a good one.
Oh my god, what do you call it? Grandma's Boy.
Oh yeah, Grandma's Boy. Yeah.
He's good in that one too.
Yeah. Dude, he's got a fucking repertoire. I mean, his best friends are just like the biggest celebs ever.
Yeah.
Like so to have like that friend group would be so cool. Because I mean, all of his friends are in movies, and he's in his friends' movies. That'd be so cool if I could do that with my friends and just be like, oh. If like there's some Adam Sandler characters,
just don't make grown-ups.
Yeah,
just don't do that. Don't sell.
Yeah, I mean, I want to see what the contract was looking like for grown-ups. Like, cause I mean, there's no way they read that script like this is gonna hit. So, yeah, I don't know, man. But like, I think at the end of the day, those guys just want to work. You know, they're already rich as fuck. It's like they didn't need to make grown-ups. All those guys are very well off. But it's like, or you're just sitting around town. You're like, I feel like I'm gonna be irrelevant. I need to work. I need to do something. I think
they just want to go on a trip together.
That's true.
That's really just what it was all about.
But yeah, I mean. It's crazy, just even meeting the people you look up to, you know?
So all this, I mean, you have a sound business strategy. All this stuff, how do you learn this stuff? Is this just through trial and error?
Yeah.
Are you a guy that reads? Are you on YouTube? Like, how do you know about all this stuff?
Trial and error, and then also talking to people who've done it before. I'll be like, you know, some of the guys that I used to work with, they were the first ones to do their own, like, one-night shows in a city. And I'm like, okay, you booked yourself in Dallas. How are you making money off that? Are you paying for your own flights? Are you doing merchandise? And like, okay, we fly at this time because it's the cheapest. We stay here, and if you do that, like they just kind of give you the tricks of the trade, and then you know, like after you do it multiple times, you kind of build your own little
strategy.
Exactly. So kind of going out into the field and learning, but mainly just talking to other people and experiencing it myself. Or I'll be like, okay, I went out to here and I made this much money. Was that worth it? No. Am I doing that again? No. Okay, what do I need to do to change? Kind of just internal.
I've noticed that with you. You're very analytical. You look at situations from all the views.
Yeah.
And it's before, during, and then after.
Yeah.
I've noticed that with you, for sure.
Yeah, man, because there's been times where I said yes to stuff, then I was like, why am I here? Not, you know, I was like, shit like that. And I'm sure you guys have done it too, where you're like, I don't need to be doing this shit, you know.
The trick is to just
tell us about your worst gig, like something that just completely was not the way you expected it to be.
Worst gig for stand up or like videos or
anything. I would assume it would probably be like an appearance that you just knew little about and just ended.
Throw them under the bus.
Worst gig, man.
You ever do like an appearance in like a shitty dive bar in like Kentucky?
You're just
I feel like you're getting some
three
randoms.
people.
Oh, I get hit up for random ass shit. I mean, I've just had some I did a collab once. I'm not gonna say the dude's name. He's the nicest guy ever, but like he had a big following. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do it. Like I'm trying to grow my numbers. Always, you know, it was like one of the first collabs I did. And then he literally just took. This was right after the AirPod video. He literally just took. He's like, yo, we should do an AirPod video. And then and I was like, yeah, I just did that. He's like, yeah, but like, put me in it. I was like, what? I was like, no, I already did that. Like, it's not gonna. He's like, yeah, but like, you don't have to share it. It'll be on my channel, so like, it'll be different. And then I literally did me, what I do on camera, like the improv and like the riff and stuff. And then he just added like reaction shots, and I was like, what? What am I? What do we do? Who? It was so weird, and I was just like, I need to just be more careful with what I say yes to, and
for sure.
Yeah.
So if you had to give advice to anybody out there that's just aspiring to be, let's just say comedian, stripper. What was the other one that you just said? Anything in that?
Comedian, stripper, rapper.
Comedian, stripper, rapper. What is your advice to them?
I'd say be patient and pay attention to trends. Because, I mean, you can speed up the whole patience process if you can do something that everybody's aware of, I think. So
you wise, bro.
Yeah, you know, low key, man.
Wise, low key wise.
Bro.
I've gotten wiser since the last time
I use the word wise and shit, and you know, but I don't know. I think patience is the biggest thing. Things take a lot longer than you think they will. I mean, people think that like the last video I made, they're like, bro, you blew up off that, and now you have a career. I was like, bro, I've been making shitty videos since the Vine days. Like, you do not.
So how many years is that when you look at it all together? What
2013 was when Vine came out, so I was making stuff on there. Then there's like a little gap, but in like 2015, I really invested in Facebook. I was like, Facebook videos are going to be the next big thing. And yeah, so 2015 to 2017, I was just throwing shit up there and then just anything. And then the Zoomies thing finally hit in 2017. And then after that, it's like, all right, it's go time. You know, saw the green light and it was just like,
game time. Let's talk about this piece.
So this is a good piece, Trevor. You picked a piece off the success story, which actually has in here. It requires persistence, discipline, failure, risk, patience, what he just touched on, sacrifice, and hustle. So how can we pick this piece? This is a new series we have out. Great pick. So how come you picked it?
I just feel like looking back doesn't do you any justice unless you're using what you look back on to motivate yourself. Like I was doing a show in Massachusetts, and I was filming that day with the production company out there, and I was tired. I didn't want to do the show. I almost canceled it. And I was like, bro, I was sitting there. It was like a sold out show, and I was just like, I just don't feel it. I don't feel funny. I don't feel like going out there. And then I was like sitting there. I was like, damn, because I used to host a comedy show for this old guy who owned a comedy club out in Valencia, the Valley. It was in the back of Marie Callender's. In my first 2 years in LA, I used to be the opening act, do 10 minutes in front of a bunch of old people. And I was like, bro, I'm not doing that anymore. So when I look back on where I've started and gone from, that's when it helped. But looking back and being, and that's, you can only use looking back to motivate yourself or to be like, oh, I've gone this far. Because when you look ahead, it's like limitless. You're like, I want to do fucking massive things. But you got to set like checkpoints or else you're just going to keep shooting. Mm-hmm. Because if you look back, you're like, oh, damn, in the past 2 years, I have gone far. Even like just today when I was like, oh, that AirPod video was a year ago. Yeah. Not even. Yeah. It was like 11 months ago, and I had 65K on Instagram. That's when it's good to look back. But I think you shouldn't like look back and stress and be like, oh, I should have done that. I don't want to have
no regret.
I should have. Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. I shouldn't have, You know, early on, one of the things I was like, when the Zoomies character popped off, I was like, fuck, I shouldn't have made an Instagram account for him. Double down. Everything I post on him is on that account is him, and just build that account out. And now I'm glad I didn't, because then you only have that one character, and then you can't venture off. So it worked out that I stuck everything on my page, but that was like a legit regret that I had. And I was like, fuck. And then I'll be thinking about it. But I think if you miss an opportunity, you just got to be more open-minded to it. There's like a lot of merch I missed out on. Like I remember even after the AirPod video came out, somebody's like, why didn't you make an AirPod case? And I was like, oh, God fucking damn it.
Yeah.
It would have crushed. And then it's like, but it's too late. So I can't, when things that aren't out of your control. I also like that other piece where it's like the hand in the boat. What does it say? You can control you can't control the wind, but you can control the sails. I like that.
He knows the piece.
Yeah, something.
Because I mean, like if you're living your life and some shit happens, whatever, you're like, well, now I'm here. I can't control that. I can't, whatever. So
we plan and God laughs. That's one of my favorite ones.
Yeah.
So open mic. Tell people what you got going on right now, where they can find you, anything and everything. It's yours.
Cool. I mean, I'm finishing out 2019. I got a bunch of tour dates coming up. Going to be in Washington, doing NorCal, Sacramento, San Francisco, New York, Albany, Syracuse, Connecticut, Rochester, and really just want to finish out the year strong with shows. I just want my stand-up to be good and have some good videos before the year ends. And 2020 is just really picturing this show that we're putting together. But other than that, Trevor Wallace on Instagram, trevorwallacecomedy.com for show dates and tickets. And yeah, Trevor Wallace, you can just find it somewhere, hopefully. Yeah.
Cool.
Awesome, man. Thank you.
Cool.